Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
So now we're going to move on to Tea in the Street.
Yeah, come on, T.
So we have, so go ahead, what were you going to say?
And remember, this is all alleged, you know.
All alleged.
All alleged, but for conversation and for, you know, educational purposes, we are here to discuss.
Yes, yes. So Ms. Carter sent me a lot of things this week. So I wasn't exactly sure which one.
It's a lot going on.
I'm not sure. So I picked two kind of like, I blended two of the stories, and then so we're kind of doing like 3 in 1.
Yes.
So I want to start with the one that's a little controversial so we can end on a good note. So this one is going to be regarding the upcoming election.
Yes.
So there's 2 kind of stories in one. The videos are going to play right after one another, and then we'll kind of get a second to discuss those.
Yeah, it's going to go down a little bit. It just went down $100.
Thank you so much.
We'll do that for you from the White House, all right?
Thank you.
All right, bye. Nice seeing you, everybody.
God bless you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. There you kids?
Yeah, they are. 3 boys.
Perfecto. Perfecto. 3 for 3. Bye, everybody.
The only reason we're having this hearing is because somebody got their feelings hurt in a debate, and I don't understand why we're wasting taxpayer dollars. Next time, tell your big boy to show up and be ready to handle the woman in the room who hopefully will become the next president of the United States. Nevertheless, while we do have 2 amazing authors from Project 2025, which it seems like everybody got the memo, like, yes, I'm going to double down and say it's my thing, but I'm going to make sure I also say that it ain't our homeboys thing, because we know that it doesn't poll very well with the American people, because the American people are woke enough to recognize that there is nothing good in it for them. And the final thing that I will say is that this election, I didn't ask you a question. The final thing that I will say is that this election is the best example of why y'all are so afraid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, because then you can't have a simple-minded, underqualified white man somehow end up ascending. Instead, you've got to pay attention to the qualified black woman that is on the other side. And with that, I will.
All right, then.
Oh, my.
All right. Y'all ready for this conversation?
I wanted to give context for that first video too. So allegedly, even though we saw video evidence, I'm just going to say allegedly. Donald Trump was going into like grocery stores and giving out money to people, which I believe the term
bribe.
Yeah.
Vote. So that's already illegal.
Illegal.
Go right. We're gonna keep going.
Allegedly.
No, that wasn't alleged. He showed it.
He did it.
It is illegal. You cannot.
That could have been doctored.
No. Okay. Anyway, let's go back. So, what you
see? If I'd have said factual, she'd say allegedly.
Okay.
I love it.
For educational purposes. If you're running for any office, we all know that you cannot bribe someone for your vote. He gave money, and then he turned around and said,
I'm going to do this in the White House for you.
And I need your vote. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So that is, and then, so when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is right in our face. And I really want to ask the question, why do we have such double standards here? We see what we want to see. We react to what we want to react to. And then we just are supposed to go against, we say this other candidate who is not qualified, or we don't know enough about her to vote or to support. But we see everything about him and we ignore it. I said, so for me, it's a question. Why?
There was another thing, and it's not included in this Tea in the Streets, but I did want to bring it up. There was a doctored image, because you said something about doctored, it reminded me of Kamala Harris when she was younger. Her and this other woman were holding hands with a man. I don't know who the man
was. There was a picture of her, and he used to be one of the talk show hosts.
Yeah.
Martell Williams.
That's right. Yeah.
Montel
And
Williams.
Someone AI'd a picture and put Diddy on there. And Trump shared it. But then there's footage of him on The Apprentice saying that he loves P. Diddy and they're good friends.
Yes. So
that's a known fact.
Right.
But that's, again, he put it up on his whatever his site is that he have. And I struggle with, and I really want to know, is it more about her being a woman that people are struggling with supporting?
Yes.
Or is it more about the color of her skin, the melanin in her skin.
It could be both.
You know,
Yeah.
but
All the above.
you know what I'm saying? So jump in here. I really want to hear, and I want you guys to come in the comments and share your thoughts on that as well.
Well, I'm gonna jump in right quick
Okay.
because it's been said that you're not supposed to pastor a church.
I know.
You know,
I've been
And
hearing
so-
I'm an abomination and an offense to God.
and so
For
you
real.
can speak on this thing very
Yeah.
well about how
Because she's
people
a
feel
woman.
about a woman in power, because I'm sure you face this.
A lot.
Yes.
Yeah, especially by men. They come up, and I've
Yeah.
had one guy come to my church and just kind of stop the middle of the service to let me know
Mhm.
that he had something to say.
Mm.
If my husband had been up there, he wouldn't have done that.
Mhm.
Just the disrespect.
Mhm.
And I think that's the problem. I don't want to keep being the only one that's
Yeah.
talking, but it really does bother me because why is it that a woman is not qualified? And I'm struggling with this whole campaign thing. And I'm just going to put it out there. I'm struggling with why African American men are not
Mhm.
supporting this woman.
Mhm.
And they're saying straight up,
Negative things about her.
negative things about her. And it doesn't matter. I'm going to say we expect it from some men. And I don't expect anyone to just vote just because whether you're white, black, purple, or green. But when you come out and you openly
Mhm.
are expressing that you're struggling with someone because
Yeah.
of the color of their skin, let's talk about that.
Well, we're talking about age-old problems here.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody wanting to take you back to the 1960s
Mm-hmm.
and say, oh, well, you a secondary citizen, and you no longer have the rights and privileges of a human being.
Right.
So I think it's about a lot of different things.
Mhm.
Some men are struggling, not all men, but some of them are strong.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them are struggling with an identity crisis, and they're jealous and in competition with women who are strong.
Come on there. I love that. You want to jump in here?
So I'm gonna piggyback on that because it's not just in politics.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just in
No, ma'am.
spirituality. It's in the
Mhm.
workplace.
It's everywhere.
So there are men
Even
that
in
are
the homes.
Come
Right.
on now,
Mhm.
because there are some men who are intimidated by
Mhm.
a woman's strength,
Mhm.
and they don't know how to respond to
That's
that.
right.
And I think that's what's happening when it comes to politics. I always say I don't talk about politics and religion, but we're here.
Yes,
Okay.
we have to talk about it.
And I think it's just a plethora of things that are taking place right now.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm with you. I question, how is it that we can look at someone who has felonies,
Mhm.
multiple
Felony.
felonies
Mhm.
against them, and yet has supporters that support him no matter what comes out of his
Right.
mouth?
That's
Mhm.
right.
You know, he don't have to kill nobody, hurt nobody, but what he says with his mouth is
It's-
so much more hurtful,
Mhm.
Yes.
effective.
Yes.
Damaging.
But he's giving
Exactly.
he's putting a narrative out there also.
Yeah.
That it's okay
Exactly.
to run me down in the streets, kill me, drag me
Yeah.
down the street, and it's gonna be okay because I'm gonna pardon you.
Yes.
And this
Not
is
okay.
ridiculous.
It's
and,
really
and everybody see who Donald Trump is for who he is, and we need to stop this foolishness. Especially, I'm gonna talk to my brothers out there right quick.
Please.
Thank you.
I mean, open your eyes, man. Open your eyes. I know you've accumulated a few dollars in your life right now, and you think that having Donald Trump as your president will allow you to keep your few dollars in your pocket. But let me tell you something. If you're looking at what this guy stands for, he's finna take that money from you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Every
Mhm.
He's
dime.
finna suck it right out of you.
Mhm.
And so we're looking at two different things here. We're looking at America as it is, and America what it was.
And that's what he.
And that's what he wants. He wants what it was,
Mhm.
Mhm.
you know. And if we allow this guy to do this, I don't believe
That we're gonna.
he'll ever leave the White House again until he died. Then his sons will take over.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a not only a guy that wants to be president of the United States. We want to give this man free ranks
To be a
over
dictator.
the free world.
Yes.
And you've seen what he did in his first term.
Right.
You know what he's gonna do in this if he get a second term.
Mhm.
Come on, open your eyes, brothers.
And what-
Open your eyes that you might see.
I see.
Yeah.
Before you go, Abigail, and then we're going to let you in. I see. Kimberly, you want to go ahead and jump in there? Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say it just comes down to a lack of respect,
Mhm.
that he has, and I was looking at a video recently and they were talking about one man who helped Trump prepare for a debate against Hillary Clinton back in, I think, 2020. And they were saying he had such respect for her. He was willing to work with her. He admired her. He said she was smart. He doesn't respect Kamala. There's
Yeah.
a lack of respect there. And it's not necessarily just because she's a woman. And that's a part of it, but I think it is the color.
Yes.
That's a large part of it. She is qualified. She has the stamina. She has the knowledge.
Yes.
She's more than close. She's a district attorney, but for some reason, a lot of people just can't fathom a woman and a woman of color in that position. Just some people just cannot. And Trump, largely speaks for a lot of white men, a lot of, people that cannot let that happen. And
I think it's really sad, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think it's really sad. It speaks to who that individual is that's on the other side that won't even open up their eyes or even just look and be honest with what they see going on. It's more about remaining in power and not holding someone down
And taking us backwards.
Yes, and taking us backwards. Yes.
That's
So,
what we headed.
yes. Go
I
ahead.
want to read. Oh, sorry.
So as black men, you need to start respecting and loving your mother just a little bit
How
better
about we
than what
start
you're
right
doing.
there?
Yes. You don't
There's
need
a
to.
major disrespect to your own mother, your grandmothers and lives out there. So just putting it out there.
All righty, go
If
ahead.
y'all can do it, we can do it too.
That's right. So we have some comments that I want to read off. First of all, Donald James says, "No, I never did that. That's false allegations." So his name is Donald James.
Yes, he's from our home. That's our hometown. What
Yeah, he
happened?
said, "No, I never did that. That's false allegations," because his name's Donald.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Hilarious.
Brandy said, "Underneath Donald Trump's skin, I'm sure there's a gossip Karen who would love to do these."
Good one. Okay, very good.
Abraham said he's with Val's statement.
There-
John Neville says a vote is a crucial thing for a nation. And in all this talks, when we talk about politics, we're not telling you who to vote for.
Right.
We're going to present information that we deem important
Right.
and make your own decision.
Right.
That is your choice.
Yeah. That's your own choice that you vote for Kamala Harris. It's your own choice.
It's your own choice and make the right
Yeah,
one.
make the right one. There you go. Keep going.
Free will.
And also check in. I think you can still register. Check
Yeah.
if you're registered to vote, and you can't do it online, and you do have to mail something in.
Yeah.
So just check your status online. It even shows up on Facebook when you
Yes.
log in. It'll tell you to check your status. Laura Linney said, "People are taking advantages of color. No one should do the color-based vote. That's totally politics."
Correct.
Anna said,
I'm gonna tell you, I agree with you on that. But here's the thing: the one that's doing it is who's really promoting it is Donald Trump.
"Is the other people?"
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the ones that are doing it because thank you, Laura. I really love your comment because he does dog whistles with his. And the way he does it, he says like, "Oh, I want to go back. I'm going to take our country back." What he's saying, he wants to take it back
backwards.
He wants to go backwards to
Blacks
where
only.
there was no voice for anyone other than rich. Well, not even rich. You're white people.
We're gonna all be on the back of the
We're going to be
bus.
in the back of the bus. And
No,
so,
it's really rich.
Yes.
It's really the wealthy ones.
Yes.
Because he don't give a damn about the poor whites neither.
yes,
Yeah.
you really
No.
don't. So, Laura, I agree with your comment, but we really need to look at that on both sides. Go ahead.
Anna said, "Yeah, I'm with Donna. I feel like I sometimes have to lower my voice tone or pitch because I do not want to sound too aggressive, but I'm going to stop doing that."
Express yourself.
Laura also said, "If a black person can handle the affairs more efficiently, then they are better than others, and the same goes to any color human being."
100%.
Yeah.
I think you can do it. Why don't you run?
Yeah,
Come on, Laura, you can do
I vote
this.
for you.
You're on the Love and Victory show, so I already know your heart.
That's right.
Jared said, "People are getting blind by others' opinions."
Yes.
Terry said he's giving the money so he can take it back with an extra interest.
Come on now.
Stephen said, "Guys, open your eyes and mouth, especially your ability to see the difference between good and bad."
There you go. That's
That part
powerful.
right there.
That's I think out of all of them that you read so far, that one right there. That's
Yes.
it.
And then Sandy is this is more of a rhetorical question, I think, but why are people going against her, right? Like a lot of it is because of the color of her skin and stuff like that. No one's perfect, right?
I don't think that I don't think that no one is free from doing wrong. We all have done something wrong. But I think
God
that
forbid he opened the closet of any one of our
that's
lives.
right, because we all got some stuff that we don't want to
We all
get
have
out.
skeletons,
But
yeah.
what we're doing in this time right now, we're holding two individuals. This gentleman, this man, has over 20 felonies.
Because he's not a gentleman.
Well, right. I had to correct that. Over 20 felonies. She's prosecuted felonies. So with nothing. So if we just start right there.
That makes sense.
How about we start with she's a beautiful black woman? We're just gonna deal with that.
Yes.
And that is an issue for some people. You got beauty, but you don't have no brains. Well, she's not a dumb blonde. She's not a dumb blonde. And he's trying to put that message out there that she's a dumb blonde and she doesn't know anything and she's not even blonde.
And I think the thing that I want to make sure that we're not doing here, because I don't want it to become a black-white or other conversation, but I do want us to be very mindful of those little trolls, those little things that he is putting out there. And we are getting caught up in it.
Yeah.
And when I say we as individuals, as the human race, we're separating ourselves from one another based off of the color of our skin or someone else's skin. So we have to stop that.
We have to stop that. And that's why I brought up beauty, because his wife is beautiful.
Yes.
But you don't have a problem with her.
But she's also foreign, and he doesn't want other foreigners to get in.
That was my point.
His children are mothers were foreigners, but he has a problem. It's just so much contradiction.
At the end of the day,
that was my point.
Yeah,
Kamala Harris is more qualified than any president we've had in the last 40, 50 years.
There you go. Period.
Come in with a resume.
Like that.
Nobody's come in with a resume. We have actors and all kind of stuff come in here to be president.
Yes.
And now we actually have a person have a qualified individual with a resume of things she's done over the past 30, 40, well, I don't know
she
how
may
long
be overqualified.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we ain't gonna say that, but yes, she's qualified.
Yes.
So we had another Tea in the Streets, but we went a little over on time.
That's okay. I still want to go.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go for the next
Yes,
one.
ma'am.
All right.
Y'all, listen to what he just said.
The reason most churches are becoming empty is because all we have mastered is preaching to each other. That when people walk in off the street who don't look like what you think church is supposed to look like, you offend them before you can evangelize them. Take your hat off. They ain't got to take their hat off. The time they take their hat off, you take your wig off. They both the same thing. I'm not worried about what's on their head. I'm worried about what's in their heart.
Boom.
Am I preaching to anybody?
Yes.
You ain't got to take your hat off. You ain't got to put on church clothes. You ain't got to change the way you talk. I just want you in the room.
That part.
You cannot clean a fish till you catch it.
Come on, somebody.
God didn't clean me until I said, here I am, just as I am. When you see Jesus heal the blind beggar, the rich scammer, the sick leper, they represent the gospel being accepted by outsiders. Our church is...
All right, then, y'all. Yeah, okay. Now, isn't that a great note to end on? And the reason why I sent that over to Abigail is not lying. I sent her some stuff this week. I know. And so, again, we as Christians, as individuals, we love to we say, okay, well, you need to go to church. You need to straighten this up. You need to do this. But then when they get there, we're running them right out the door with our foolishness. And he broke it down so true. And that's just even in our in everyday life. Yep. We want people to look and we put a standard on people that we don't even have on ourselves.
Oh, come on.
And so we want people to be plastic and look a certain way and not even care about the individual's heart. So when this young man's, it just had me I had to share it. So when you guys think of it as a pastor,
I think he was on it. He was right on it. And that's one of the things that I've talked to. Sasha is the youngest board member. My daughter, her friend, is one of the youngest board members they have. And that's what I talk to my board about. When people come in those doors, let them feel the love of God and the warmth and the understanding. Leave them alone.
Yes.
Don't bother them about their kids and all that. If you want to, say, hey, because we're taping or whatever, do an announcement. Don't individualize.
Right.
Stop messing with
Leave people alone.
Yeah.
And Kimberly, I heard you shouting behind the scenes. So come on here, give me some off of it.
Well, it just reminded me of that saying, come as you are. But then I take it a step further. Do we really mean it? Because, I grew up in an old school church, and I remember, when I was younger, some of the older women kind of talking about young girls coming in and what are they wearing? They got that dress on. And I remember specifically one lady came and didn't have a lot of money, and she wore what she could, and somebody said something and she never came back. So we just have to be so careful with some things. We embrace and we love everybody, but we really have to mean it.
But after that, on that note, think about this. You tell them to come as they are. All right, I'm a person who loves glitz and glamour. So anytime you come, I'm probably gonna be in it.
Yeah.
Don't be messing with me
because you love.
Because I love glitz and glamour. I'm not messing with you because you don't like it.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. It goes two ways.
It does. You have to allow people to be who they are. And we talk about not judging. That's what the words say. But that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Don't have a different standard for other people.
It should be even across the board. And if you want them to have something, what I do is, if our budget allows it, and I see somebody struggling with that area, I always walk up to them and say, "Hey, how would you like a shopping spree?"
Yeah. Yes.
Money where your mouth is.
There you go, right there.
Yeah. Don't point it out. Come up with a solution. Yeah.
Right. Go ahead, Brother Carter.
Yes, if you were here earlier on the show, we did a scripture about the fruits of the spirit.
Oh, he calling you out because you was late. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm not talking about her.
I know, I'm just listening.
No.
My stomach was bothering me.
It's a lot of people on there. We started off with maybe about 3,000, now it's up to 5,000 or something that now. So there's another 2,000 people that hadn't heard the scripture.
Yes.
And so we read Galatians, I guess 6, I think it was.
Chapter 5, 19 through 23.
Yeah. But anyway, the fruits of what I'm saying is, too often we don't have the characteristics of Christ in our lives. We're in the church. We go to church every day. We pray. We preach. We sing. We say hallelujah. We do all these things in the church, but we're lacking some of the fruits of the spirit just by the very nature. We say we want our church to grow, right? We want it to grow, but soon as somebody come and sit in my chair that I'm used to sitting in, all of a sudden my love is gone. Soon as somebody come in with their kids that are maybe trying to eat some candy or whatever, you have to tell them children not to be eating that. We have to stop doing that as a people.
Yes.
Because literally running people away from church.
Yes.
Because we're not embracing, we're not loving, we're not caring enough as individuals to do the Christ-like thing in life.
And
so
treat people
Donna, look like you got something on this note.
Yeah, because not just running them away from church,
running
them away
from God. Yes.
My God.
Right
that
into
you have to walk with the Spirit of God. And if you talk about it, you need to walk
in it.
The same thing. You can't be in church on Sunday and then get out of church at 3 and then go home cussing out your wife or doing what you're doing. You have to have it in your heart.
It's got to be your nature.
100%.
You also don't know what someone's background is, right? They could have decided the day before that they wanted to come to church, and you're judging them because they're wearing a hoochie dress, but that may be the best dress they have.
Right.
That may be the most modest thing they had to wear, and they're doing their best. So we need to acknowledge that too.
But not just that. Once you get the fish cleaned up, listen, what's going to happen is God's going to touch their heart and they're going to stop all that anyway.
There you go.
Leave them people alone.
Leave them people alone. That part right there. If you can, we got a few
Yes, we
comments
have
that jumped in, and we want to go there, and we're going to move this train on down the road.
Monique said, Pastor Mike is that guy.
Yes.
God said, God said, come as you are.
Monique done jumped in there. Good morning, baby.
Stephanie said, when we do that, we don't consider how that make God feels. It breaks his heart.
Yes, 100%. Good morning,
Monique
Stephanie.
said, focusing too much on how someone looks on the outside when it's the inside that needs God the most.
Yes.
A big reason so many have turned from the church. Spiritual warfare is upon us, and those who are portraying themselves as prophets act more as judges than deliverer of the word.
Preach.
Stephanie said, take care of the issues in your own life before pointing out the flaws in others.
Come on now.
And then Monique also said, Jesus' disciples were those very people.
Yes.
Read and understand this. He purposely chose those people to show everyone he just loves us.
Come on now.
Yes.
Come
You
on
done
now.
preach, girl. You must be like your daddy almost.
I tell you, you know.
The thing is, people don't understand. You know, they read the Bible, but they don't really read the Bible. Because it clearly tells you we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but yet here we are doing that. The Bible tells us clearly to love one another as I have loved you. Jesus said that, right? But why are we finding it so difficult to do so?
Because again, that's that flesh, and that's what about me? We're so caught up in me.
And see, I've been judged on the opposite side of that coin. Not because I didn't dress up, because I dressed up too much.
Well, keep on dressing. you may encourage somebody else.
And don't be dismayed. We all fall
short.
We all, do some of the fleshly things as well as the spiritual things. But the thing is, you want to weigh what side of the coin you on. Are you more fleshly or more spiritual? That's what you want to weigh out.
That's what you want to figure out.
Life. And if you're more fleshly than spiritual, then you're not spiritual.
God's still working on you.
All right.